Being a child of God, being a creative on this online space is not the thing that you see the most. So when you have YouTuber like Katie Stamps talking about it, opening up about it, it becomes something very interesting, and we're gonna dive deep into it and understand what it is, what it means, because it does seem a rarity to hear people and creatives talk about it, especially here. So let's go into it now. So Katie Stamps is a person that probably a lot of people know, if not a lot, a ton. And when I say that because she has a personality very quirky and really is not the YouTuber or your go-to influencer YouTuber or the person that's gonna come with what to do, what you need to do, and she's being herself and she's sharing that journey like that. She doesn't have a specific theme that she talks about. She talks about her life, sharing her life, because she moved around a lot in United States, and recently she opened a second channel where she really dove deep into being a Christian, because that's something that she feel or just felt like she wanted to talk more about. If you know me, and I'm starting to talk a little bit more about it, more and more, step by step. I'm a Christian, I'm Catholic, right? So going back at my faith for anything that I want to understand and anything that I want to build here makes it important or just essential to really always consider that part of me, that identity that at the end of the day goes back to God, because I see myself as being a child of God. So having YouTubers talking about that makes it interesting for me to not only open up but understand where they are coming from, because it's not easy. It's not easy here to talk about it. So we're gonna dive and really get deep into a video that she recently published on her second channel.
So going back to the questions that I receive, like, how are you not scared coming forward saying you're Christian? How are you not scared saying that you didn't take the jab? And the truth is, I was scared at first. I could have been addressed these things at the start of my channel. I didn't address it because I was worried. And honestly, my identity was a little bit in my job. It was in a little bit of money. It was rooted in what ultimately became power at some point, too much power in my opinion. I'll talk about that in a different video, about how interesting it is to now experience the luxury of time, how much good and damage I could do with it if I wasn't, if I didn't have my head on straight. But the point is, you can be all these things you want to be. You can become a rich and famous YouTuber. You can make your dreams come true and do what I did. But my identity is rooted in God. And it's not uncommon to sort of have a little bit of an identity crisis if you tend to consume social media as much as I do, for example, even though I am a YouTuber as well.
Identity crisis is a real thing, and it's so much of what she said, because getting online, getting on social media, being away from God, it's something that gets easier with time, because you don't see that. You don't see people talking about God online. You just don't see it. And the more you're getting that, the more you're running away, the more you want nothing to do with it, the more really inside you're becoming empty without even realizing it, because you're replacing that love that you would have for God for something else, whether it's money, success, shining and brightening, everything in between. You're trying to fill up something, and on the long term it's gonna be harder and harder and harder. And because of all of my experiences, my challenges and rough patches that I went through, I saw things and I saw the real presence of God there. Even if I can have my doubts, even if I'm not the person that's gonna pray all the time every single day, and even if I'm the person that getting on that journey more and more now, it's normal at some point to be like, I don't care, I have my doubts and I'm gonna go live my life. But growing up, getting older, and really starting to build the business, starting to build a life, you see the importance at every level. Because if you're trying to have control and feel like you have looking for that idea of having the control on things that you can control, you're becoming a mess after it, because you have no control. You're gonna see it, but because you make yourself believe that you have that control, it's even worse. Because it's like it doesn't match. What happens and what you feel just doesn't match. You have no control. She said a lot of things about being scared, and when you are getting scared, you are running again away from God. You're running away from that hand is handing you, you running away from every benefit that it can give you. That is scary. And at the end of the day, it is scary on the long term. But at first, you're gonna run away, you're gonna be scared, but you're gonna be separated more and more and more and more from him and from your own identity. The identity you're gonna build up is not gonna be your identity. It's gonna be things that gonna surround you. I talked about it in another video, but identity when it comes to Christ is essential to understand who you are, to understand where you want to go, to even have that confidence, because it becomes so much more clear when you have God as that moral compass. Whatever you do, it's always revolving him at every level. And then you understand that you're not alone anymore. And you understand that you are much more stronger because you have him, not because you're strong by yourself. Really important to build that identity back to God. And as a Catholic, it's the thing that you're gonna do every single day. I'm not perfect. I'm far from being perfect. But I understand where that journey leads me to. And the only person that I want to be with when it comes to that, throughout all that journey, is God. Popularity and wisdom are not the same thing. You can have an audience and full-grown big audience of millions people, yet not having the wisdom to actually lead them to something truly impactful. We see a lot of that online. A lot.
Anyone who's known me since I was young, I was always the one who would say the unpopular thing. And like I said in my last video, Jesus hated popularity. Jesus saw something that we can't seem to see in it. What is that? Everything I just told you.
We have to have a balance. It's important to have a balance. It's not about being serious all the time and looking and watching everything serious. I do watch my own things where I get distracted. But when 90% of your day is all about it, you really have to start asking questions. Popularity is the first trap for a lot of people, because the first question and first thing that I hear from people getting online, it's how much can I get and how many people can follow me. Those are things that you have to ask. You have to think about it. But when you make it mean something about your own identity, your own existence, and who you are, it's gonna change you as much as the audience is gonna change. Whether, regardless of you having less people, more people, different type of people, you're gonna change along with them, not in a good way, because you're gonna let them change you rather than you changing them in really with a great impact in a positive way, because you have that clarity. If you don't have that clarity, you're leading everybody else astray, no matter what you do. It's up to you to have that clarity, and for you to have that clarity is to rely again here on God. You don't have that control. So being popular is the end result of you really getting to build an impact, and not so much of you trying to make an audience or build an audience or build a big following at the end of the day. That's where the issue rises for a lot of people. And that's where people are giving up a lot more and a lot more faster, or never even take the chance, because they think about not only the commitment, but yes, but it's gonna take me so much of my time and so much of myself to even do that. Because you're thinking about yourself, you think about the popularity, which is the end result, and not so much about how passionate and how deeper the impact you're gonna leave. Because when you get committed, when you get passionate, and when you get to be in that moment of truly impacting people, you're not thinking about you anymore. You're serving people. You're serving them with truth. You're serving them with facts. You're serving them with you and being out there, speaking up, whatever happens. One of my, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I was at a birthday from one of my friends, and I met a couple of friends there, and one of them actually was trying to build his YouTube channel, and he actually got a great following and really was good at what he was doing, but just the idea of editing all the time made him give up entirely. It was like, it took me so much time, and then after that I didn't even get many views. Although I was expecting so much of it, just because it took me so much time to edit those videos. And in return, I didn't get a lot of views. And I was like, that's the beginning. That's normal. you're gonna work, and you're gonna work hard. And even in the Bible, it's pretty much clear that you have to work hard. Things are not gonna come to you. So yes, you're gonna be working and feeling like you get nothing out of until you get something out of it. And because you're gonna enjoy your journey so much, because of many people gonna talk to, many connections you're gonna build, this is why you're gonna find the fun in that. Because you're talking, you're discovering, you are meeting people, you are leaving that impact, even if it's one person. Even nowadays, where I am, I'm not looking at having the biggest audience or the biggest following ever. Of course, in the back of my head, I'm always gonna think about that big audience, but I always get back to my intention and my mission. I always work on being more intentional. And it's not easy. It's not easy. When you are on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, you see all of those numbers on other people and influencers and coaches and people you're looking up to, and you're just like, why? Looking at people like Jordan Peterson, one of my biggest role models here, and I'm seeing his following, but I'm seeing the wisdom he has. Even if he had one person following him, I would still listen to him and respect him the same way that I do today. 7 million people are following him because of his wisdom and because of him not being scared of saying the truth, even when it hurts for some people, even when people don't want to hear nothing about it. So that's the kind of person that I respect the most, and that's the kind of people that people or everybody else should look up to and really understand where it's coming from. Because to get to that level, he was not trying to be an influencer. He was just speaking about things that he felt was just unfair. So that's really up to you to really think about it and really thinking about Jesus' life. He didn't try to be popular by any means. He showed up. He stood up. He spoke up. People disagreed with him. People hated him. He still spoke up. Some people trusted him enough to follow him because he was going with the truth. You can't please everybody. And don't even try to please everybody. Get into things that you know the most of and speak. Just speak and speak again and again and again and commit to it. It's gonna change, it's gonna evolve, but speak. And that's pretty much something here that I guess was worth sharing. And her video was worth sharing and just being talked about, at least for me, right? So I hope you took something out of it. That was a pretty much great way to end this, and definitely subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna have a lot more things here, and it's probably gonna be different type of content. Obviously, like I said, I'm evolving myself. My brand is evolving, my coaching is evolving as well, so just get ready for anything. But one thing for sure is that I'm working on opening up myself more and more, and it's not gonna be pleasing to everybody, but that's fine. Of course, I'm gonna see you for my next video. Until then, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and anything else, and of course on my links to get to work with me as a coach, they're gonna be down below. So if you feel the need to reach out, definitely reach out, because everything is gonna be down below. So definitely, like I say all the time, smile, because it's free and contagious in a good way. I'm gonna see you then on another episode. Until then, have fun, enjoy, and bye.